Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here from CubicKing77.com. It's that time again, time for another check-in in the 2-week iPhone challenge. And this is the 1-week check-in. So I've had this iPhone for exactly half the amount of time I will, 1 week exactly. So next week I'll be done. On that day, next Thursday, I'll probably do a full review of the iPhone 6 Plus, iOS, all that stuff, talk about that. But I will do one more check-in video after this on Monday to talk about battery life and camera. So I'm not going to talk about battery life and camera in this video. My next one, I still want to get more shots with the camera and make sure I get a full review of it. So I'm going to talk about some other things. The first one I want to talk about is how Microsoft just saved Google and Apple and the iPhone on the iPhone today, in my opinion. Especially because I'm someone that sends a lot of emails. So in regards to emails, the Apple email client, I'm not a fan of. The Gmail app is bad. I'm sorry if maybe you've had a good experience with it, but I've just had a terrible experience this past week with the Gmail application. Now, I don't even have the Gmail app on my iPhone anymore. I uninstalled it today as soon as I found an email client that I liked. The Gmail app was causing issues on the phone. I don't know if it was phone related or app. I'm assuming it was app related. Google needs to get their act together on that. But it was causing the phone to kind of reboot, cause it to be slow. Messages would take a while to load. It was just a huge pain, especially because I get emails all the time, comments, messages, people asking for help, all that stuff. So I use email a lot. I didn't realize how much I depended on the email app. But now today, Microsoft just released this Outlook app. Now you'll see right here I have the Outlook app. Some things that make it better, you'll see right here I have an email. When you swipe to the right, it gives you actual actions that you can do. You can archive or delete the email, or what Gmail only had was the X here, which just dismisses the notification. So it's really nice that it has the delete or archive button there when you swipe there. You can swipe to the left on the lock screen and it'll go to that app. So if I want to go to this email, you'll see it's a Twitter email. It'll load up. It takes a little bit of time. I mean, overall, I haven't had as seamless of a email client experience on iOS as opposed to Android, which is kind of a downside to it, but overall it's still, I mean, with the Outlook app, I would definitely go for that if you have an iPhone. Now, another thing I want to talk about, so I mean, it's a pretty basic email application: compose, filters, calendars, files, people, all that stuff. So nothing too crazy there, but one thing I like about it is when you go to settings, you can change the default browser within the app settings. So you'll see if I want Safari or Google Chrome. Those are the two I have on this device. That is something you really can't do throughout the operating system. You can't set default apps. And it's kind of a pain, actually. If I don't want Safari to open, certain links are going to open Safari regardless. If I want to only use Google Chrome or only use Safari, etc. So it's kind of goofy. I wish all apps had this setting where if I click the link, it would go to a specific browser. For example, if I go to the messaging app and I send myself a YouTube link and I press on it, it'll only go to the YouTube app. That's it. So you don't have an option to go to the actual browser if you want to. It just automatically takes you to the YouTube app. You'd have to copy paste the link into your browser if you wanted to use that. Whereas on Android, it'll give you a list of all apps you can open up that specific link with, which is how it should be on iOS, but it's not. Now, the next app I want to talk about that's been very well made because it's very easily integrated into the OS is the FaceTime app. Now, the FaceTime app here is very simplistic. So you'll see you have video or audio, which would be a call. The reason you'd use audio would be if you want to use a phone call over data as opposed to using your minutes or whatever. So video, it's a video chat app which works very well and it works how it should. It's very simple. You just have a mute, end call, and flip camera around button. That's it. There's no settings. There's no crazy settings. You just go to name, email, or number. It'll show you who has an iPhone or iPad and is on FaceTime at the moment. You can face call them, video chat them, and it's integrated into the operating system, like I said. So it's something where if you go to contacts, it'll let you know if you could FaceTime someone or not. Google needs to do something similar with their Hangouts app, which I have right here, which integrates it into the operating system. A lot of people I know that have Android phones have never used the Hangouts app. Never. A lot of my friends that have Android phones, just the typical user, not the power user, typical friends that have Galaxy S5s or LG G3s, they just don't use the Hangouts app and they don't even know about it. When I tell them about it, hey, there's a simple way to have video chat, it's within the Hangouts app, and they don't even know. So, but speaking of the Hangouts app, it looks so much better on iOS than Android. Google, what are you thinking? It looks so much better in a sense of you have favorites here, you have people here, your contacts, you have all your messages here, and then you have a dialer right here. What I've noticed is when I go to the dialer, it kind of locks up the app. So Google, you messed up with the Hangouts app functionality wise, but looks wise it looks good. like I said, you press the phone button and then you can bring up a dialer, and then it just gets really laggy and it's just not fun to even try to use. So I just go to contacts and search for who I want to call. Anyways, so you tap up here, it'll go to your account. You can update your status, manage your accounts, alarms, alerts, settings. You have all your messages here. If I want to go ahead and swipe away a message, it brings up a bunch of things. If you want to favorite someone, voice call, video chat, mute, or archive. Very simple. It's really nice. The Hangouts app looks a lot better. I mean, as long as you don't go to this phone icon, it locks up and freezes, but other than that, looks good. I don't know why Google hasn't updated the Hangouts app to look like this on Android, but they haven't. Now, what's interesting is that I kind of think it's the app developer that's causing these issues. Any issue that I've had has been within a specific app, but otherwise, other than that, it's been very smooth. The operating system opens apps very quickly, and very little to no lag whatsoever, very quick. It's very smooth, but it's very simplistic. I've been kind of getting bored a little bit with the home launcher being just apps, no widgets, nothing like that. And no customizations where I can't choose a new launcher if I get bored of one. Just anything like that, just a personal preference there. It's a little boring, especially, I mean, it's only been a week, so it's not too bad yet, but I feel like in the future I might get a little bored with the operating system just because I can't make those customizations that I like to make. But it's very basic, it runs well, it works how it should. Now, one of the last things I want to talk about is the pull down bar and the swipe up bar as well. Now let's go ahead and look at the pull down bar and also the swipe up bar. I don't know if that's what they're actually called, but that's what I'm going to call them. So let's go ahead and look at the pull down bar first. You have two things. You have today and notifications. Today is kind of like where the widgets are in iPhone, where you have your calendar, you have stocks, whatever you set. If there's a event, I had one earlier and it's gone now, obviously, but I did have a calendar event showing up. And it looks nice. I mean, I kind of like it. I mean, it's, I guess, a replacement for widgets. I'd probably rather have widgets personally, but it's okay. You can swipe over and it goes to your notifications. Now, I have a problem with these notifications. First of all, I miss notification icons up at the top. That's just a personal thing. But you'll see I have Instagram notifications here. So if I want to go to the Instagram app, follow me on Instagram if you use it, by the way. You don't need to, but you can. So if I go to this app, you'll see Flossie Carter already posted something right here. Follow a bunch of people there. You'll see I have 5 notifications and 1 person here. Now, I've had experience where I look at this notification and I go back home and those notifications are still in the notification bar. You'll see Instagram notifications are still there. They don't go away even if you look at them. Kind of a pain. I don't remember that ever happening to me on Android. So maybe they do, I just haven't noticed, but for me, this is something new to me, so I don't think it happens on Android. Kind of a pain where you still have to clear them all away, and they're all separate. With Android, they're all combined into one little thing. If you want to expand them, you can, or contract them, you can. So the notification system, I think I like better on Android. I just don't like how bulky it is and how they just don't go away when you actually see them. Now let's talk about the swipe up bar, which I personally really like. It's an easier way to get to quick toggles if Android could implement it, where if they swipe down, it just goes to notifications, swipe up, goes to quick toggles, something like this. I think it's really nice. I kind of like it better. You have quick toggles to flashlight, calculator, stopwatch, camera. Opens up the camera application very quickly. Like I said, all apps are pretty much open very quickly. And within apps, you can swipe it up as well to get to these settings, so you don't have to worry about that. So if I want to go back home, I can, takes me back home, I swipe up, and they're there again. So you have Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. They are customizable, which is something I wish you could do. Added more options, more customizations, and also another pain is you can't get into settings of any of these. On Android, you can press and hold an icon, it goes into those settings. On here, you can't. To get to any settings, you have to go to the settings app. So you have to go all the way home. You can't just swipe down the notification bar and go into settings from an app, or swipe up and go into settings from an app. I mean, if you can, please comment and let me know, because I can't figure it out. But you have to go let's say I'm in any app, actually, if I go into the Outlook app. If I want to swipe up, if I'm like, oh, I want to check my settings real quick, I want to go into settings and change something, I can't. No matter what I press here, I don't think I can. Same here, there's no settings button, so I have to go home. It might bring me back to a folder, it might bring me back to this screen where I have to swipe over, then go into the settings app. So just a personal preference. With Android, they have a little settings icon up in the upper right hand corner, or wherever, depending on your Android phone. But just a little nuisance, I guess, that I've found. Now, the final thing that everyone kept asking me is how I like using iTunes for everything with syncing your phone, all that stuff, and I think it's pretty cool. I don't mind it at all. If you do want to get an app, you do need to go into iTunes to do it, as opposed to just being in a web browser. I like being in a web browser, being able to send an app to my phone better, which you can do in the Play Store, instead of using iTunes. I don't necessarily like it. It's not too big of a deal for me, but I believe Google needs to implement an iTunes-like player to sync with Android devices, such as iTunes does with iPhones, with their music, their videos, all that stuff. It's just easy to keep it. I mean, I use iTunes on my PC to play my music and to sort my music, tell me how many play counts I have, all that stuff. And I mean, I also use Google Play Music in the web browser, but I feel like if they had their own separate client, that would be a good thing that syncs with your Android phone if you want to transfer music or transfer video, all that stuff. That would be actually really nice. So I kind of like having iTunes to sync music and all that stuff, not necessarily to install apps, having to go through it. All right, but that's it. So that would be the 1 week check-in of the iPhone 6 Plus 2 week challenge. I've made it a week. I hope I can make it a week more. But yeah, so stay tuned Monday. Like I said, another check-in video. More videos to come as well, and other things. I'll probably fill in the gaps with a couple other things. So be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. I'll post some updates there as well if you'd like to see those. And as always, guys, if you want to subscribe to me, I'd really appreciate it. Get notified of future videos. And as always, guys, thank you for watching.